Video game remakes have been taking the gaming industry over by storm over the last few years, and I want to delve into which ones were really good and utilize modern technology to kind of make these older games something that we want to replay and we can actually appreciate again in all of its glory in like 2022, as opposed to some others that maybe weren't so good and just glorified remasters. On top of that, we are going to be getting into the Dead Space remake because trailers have come out for that, as well as a big chunk of gameplay that I kind of want to go into and see and analyze what makes this a good remake as opposed to something that's not so good. But first things first, let's go over some remakes over the last few years that have been really successful and really did things right. Okay, so first up we have Demon's Souls. This is a remake of the first smash hit from Software way back in 2009. This remake released in 2020 alongside the release of the PS5, and it's safe to say it was easily the most popular game for the console at the time. They did a really good job at making this game feel and play like the original game, with less of the jank, and its absolutely stunning visual overhaul rivals most games even now 2 years later. I think the reason this remake is so good though is the consistent use of sound design, level design, and the tone and feel of the original game. It isn't a remake with lots of changes to the base game or anything like that. It isn't doing its own thing. It's plain and simply 2009 Demon's Souls 2.0, and that is brilliant. It does mean, however, that for better or worse, the game does feel like a game from 2009 sometimes, and that means accuracy can be a hindrance as well, if it is too accurate where you're keeping that kind of jank that we've evolved upon with technology since 2009. But this is a classic example of how to do a remake right. It's stunning, it's amazing, it's true to the original, the sound, level design, everything is great. So yeah, this is a massive win in my eyes. I mean, just look at the difference here. You can definitely tell that the tone and the feel of the original game is coming through, but these visual upgrades are just absolutely superb to say the least. The effects, the sounds, everything is just so much better in the remake, and it really does just capture the magic of the original. Okay, another win as far as remakes go, in my opinion, is Final Fantasy VII Remake. The original game released in 1997 and was, and maybe still is, one of the most popular games ever made. So a remake for something so dearly beloved by not only Final Fantasy fans, but gaming fans as a whole, is a very daunting task to say the least. But that didn't stop Final Fantasy VII Remake from taking the reins and becoming a worthy and capable successor to the original's greatness. Even though the style and gameplay of the game is very different, rather than the remake being the exact same game, shot for shot in the moment-to-moment gameplay, it still manages to capture that feel and magic of the original game. This is largely due to the incredible character designs, voice acting, environments, and level designs true to the original game, and a tone that just cannot be ignored. But it's very interesting to see a game that is so unique in its design, yet so close to the story and feel of the 1997 release, be so successful in the eyes of most fans of the original game, because it is very different. It's not the exact same. But this is why I'd say this remake is a huge win in creating something new, using the themes, characters, and story of something old, capturing the nostalgia whilst also giving the players new experiences. So, those are some good remakes, but not all remakes always capture the magic and tone that the original does. A good example of this is Resident Evil 3 Remake. This game had all the potential and hype of a fantastic remake to capture everything that made the original game awesome, especially after RE2 Remake was a smash hit and one of the better remakes to come out in this decade. So what did RE3 Remake do well? Firstly, the graphics are insane. This game looks amazing, and the moment-to-moment gameplay is great too. It feels like an evolution of RE2 Remake's slow but strong movements, but adds a dodge roll feature that makes the game feel more fluid and less clunky than RE2 Remake, and especially the originals. This, along with improved lighting, character models, weapon customization, and an over-the-shoulder third-person view, are all great things the remake does really well. Where it fails, however, is, well, everywhere else. The story is great, I liked it a lot, but when you remove boss fights, enemies, and full locations from the game, it starts to be a little confusing. The remake took me 7 hours to beat on standard, and that is just criminal. There should not be removed locations and changes that make the game shorter, when the game is already less time than an average workday. This game is so short, but so... it could have been great, right? Although one of the good things is Carlos. Carlos is cool. I like Carlos. So, after all the information presented, after all these remakes that we have just taken a look at, how does Dead Space Remake fit into this? Is it looking like it's going to be a good remake? Is it a bad remake? Has it completely changed the gameplay formula? Are the sounds good? Is it going to be a faithful recreation from the ground up? Or is it going to be something more like RE3, which cuts content, is a short game, and is just not doing what it should be doing as a faithful adaptation of the original game? Let's find out.
USG Ishimura, this is the emergency. emergency maintenance team of the USG Kellyan responding to your distress call.
Okay. Graphics are already looking amazing.
Clark.
That's the beginning of the game. Yep, this is good. So it looks like, as far as the gameplay is concerned, it's all
Fix the centrifuge.
accurate for now.
Fuel running.
Okay, they've definitely got the tone and the feel down. This is creepy as hell. This game used to scare the life out of me when I was younger.
This is Senior Medical Officer Nicole Brennan. Medical
Even the lighting, the shading, everything. I'm looking to see some real gameplay. But definitely, the tone and the feel is great. The design is great. The character models are great. This is the exact same gameplay as the original, so this is good. The designs are insane. Yeah. And the sounds, everything. Everything is just... This is really good. Okay. This looks incredible. So this is what I mean by taking something that is faithful to the original. This all looks very familiar and is very nostalgic. But you can also tell, this is how the game... This is how I thought the game looked when it first came out. In my mind. This is how the game looked. And that's great. Wow. Okay. Yeah, this is an exact same part from the original game.
Will be made whole, Mr. Clark. With or without you.
Isaac, it's me. It's all falling apart here. I can't believe what's happening.
Nicole?
Okay, yeah. No, that was great. That was great. I must say, that was a great way to do it. Like, again, the gameplay is the exact same as the original. Now, granted, the original's not that old. I don't know the exact year that it came out, but it's not that old. It was a third-person shooter. It looks the same as this. This is a faithful remake as far as we're concerned with this trailer. This is a very faithful remake. Gameplay looks the same. The tone and the feel is definitely the same. It's creepy as hell. The sound design is the same. I'm pretty sure they've used a lot of the same sounds. I don't know if they've completely remade it or taken them from the original and just like made it seem a little bit better, but everything here it's looking good. This is looking like a faithful remake, and I'm hoping, let's pray, that it's not an RE3 remake that is disappointing upon release. Alright guys, that is it. Dead Space remake looks amazing. I'm glad that it does look like something that's going to be a success and a faithful adaptation, rather than something like RE3 remake that, even though is faithful in some ways, kind of went down the wrong path, you know? It didn't do exactly what it should have, and I don't know, it kind of fell short because of that, and I feel like it left a bad taste in people's mouths. This, I hope that it isn't like that. But what makes a good remake, and what makes a bad remake? If you guys don't agree with anything that I've said, please let me know in the comments below. Let's get a conversation starting. And what are your favourite remakes in the past 10, 15, 20 years? Let me know, because I know I've skipped over a lot of them. Those were just the few that came to my mind straight away. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. I am going to be streaming Dead Space Remake on my Twitch when it comes out in January, so link is in the description. Make sure you follow me on there. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and thank you guys for watching.